Hello soulmates, welcome back to my channel. This is Soul with Pivot. So today we're going to be learning how to make those beautiful frills crop top and a palazzo trouser for a 9 to 10 years old. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel. Thank you. So I used 2 yards of flowered crepe. Okay, then I went ahead to mark out 2 inches for elastic casing, because this palazzo will be having an elastic at the waist. From that point, we'll take our trouser length, which is 34 inches plus 1 inch for folding. I have 35 inches, and that is what I am marking out here. Please remember, our fabric is on fold. We folded our fabric into 2 pieces. So the next thing I'll do is to take my crouch depth from that point, which is 10.5 inches. I'll mark it down. Then on that crouch depth line, I'll place my hips measurement divided by 4, which is 8.5. But I went ahead to mark out 9 inches. I'll place the same measurement on my waistline and I'll connect it to form a straight line. From there, I'll take my crouch extension, which is 2 inches, and then I'll just curve it in this way. Then for the hemline, I'm going to go ahead and measure out 10 inches. That's how wide I want the palazzo to be, 10 inches. Then I'll connect it back to the crouch line. And then we go ahead and cut. So after cutting, I'll get another piece for the back piece, and this is it. Remember, this is also on fold. So what I'm going to do first of all is to mark out 1 inch or 1.5 inches. So in my own case, I marked out 1.5 inches. Please make sure that this back piece is like 2 or 3 inches wider than the front piece. Okay, so the next thing I'll do is to bring in my front piece, and then I'm going to place it on it like this. I'm going to arrange it. Then I'll extend my crouch line by 2 inches. So this is me marking out my 2 inches. Then I'm going to connect it this way. So I'll go to my waistline and I'm going to be adding 1.5 inches. 1.5 inches. I'm going to connect it to the crouch line. Then also on the hem line, I'm going to also mark out 1.5 inches. Then I'm going to connect it back to the crouch line. Okay, so now I'm back to the waistline. Remember, we left like 1 or 1.5 inches above. I left 1.5 inches. So what we'll do is we're going to connect from that point to the waistline. So it's going to be a slanted line, kind of. This will help cover our back butts, so it won't be revealing while we are sitting down. So after cutting, this is what we have. So the next thing we're going to do is to sew the crouch line for both the back and the front. So I'll go ahead and sew it. Okay, so I'm done sewing it at this point. So now I'm going to bring our front piece and our back piece together. I will arrange it and then I will sew the sides together. So after sewing the sides, I'll go ahead and sew this center part. This is our crotch part. I'll sew it together also. And then this is what we have after sewing it. So the next thing I'm going to do is to finish up our waistline. And to do this, I have this elastic. My waist measurement is 28 inches. That's her waist measurement. So I just deducted 8 and my elastic length is what, 20 inches. So I'll go ahead and fold my elastic casing like this, and then I'll sew it all round. And then this is what we have. So I'll go ahead and sew up this elastic and then also close up this opening. I'll go ahead and finish up my band, and also I'll go ahead to fold the hemline of my palazzo trouser and sew. For my belt holder, I have these little fabrics. I have 4 pieces of them. The length is 4 inches while the width is 1.5 inches. So I'll go ahead and fold it like this, and then I will sew. So I'll do so for the 4 little pieces. So now this is my trouser. I'm going to come in by 2 inches. I'll do so for the 2 sides, and I'll also do so for the front and the back. So that's where we're going to be placing our belt holder. So I'll go ahead and sew in my belt holder. So the next thing I'll do is to cut out my belt, and I have this piece of fabric. The width is 4.5 inches while the length is 51.5 inches. So I'm just going to bring the 2 edges together like this. I'll fold it into 2, bring the edges together like this, and then I'll just cut it in a slanted form like this. Then after cutting it, I'll go ahead and sew. So this is what we have. We fixed in our belt holder, and our belt is also ready. So we are done with the trouser. So for the top, I have this fabric folded into 4 folds. Mind you, the back is 2.5 inches wider than the front piece. My shoulder measurement is 6 inches. Then I'll take my shoulder slope of 1/2 inch. From that point, I'll take my armhole measurement, which is 6 inches. So I'm going to connect it this way. So my top length, I measured 12.5 inches. Now for my neck width, I marked 4 inches. That's how wide I want it to be, 4 inches. Then for my neck depth, I also marked 4 inches. You can make it deeper than that, but I use 4 inches, and this is for both the front and the back. My chest measurement is 30 inches divided by 4, 7.5 inches plus 1.5, that's 9 inches. Then for my waistline, 28 divided by 4, 7 inches plus 1.5, that's 8.5 inches. So we're going to connect it this way, and then we cut. So I went ahead to notch my zip point. So the next thing we're going to do is to cut our facing. So that's what we want to use to finish up our neckline. So I'll mark out my neck shape, and then I'll go ahead and cut. Now the width of this my facing is going to be 1.5 inches. So you can see me taking 1.5 inches all through. So I will do the same thing for the back also. So after cutting, we're going to place it on the neckline like this, and then we're going to sew. So this is it. After sewing, I went ahead to notch so that it will relax. Then after notching, I'll go ahead and turn over my facing like this, and then I will sew it. And then this is what we have after sewing. You can see I already sewed it, and then this is what we have. So the next thing I'm going to do is to place my front and my back bodies, and then I will sew the shoulders and also finish up my armhole. And then this is what we have. I already finished up my armhole, I already joined the shoulders. Then I'll go ahead and fold my button plackets. Remember, I left 2.5 inches, so I'll fold it like this and I will sew. So this is what we have after sewing. So the next thing I'll do is to fold my fabric into two. Then I'm going to get my center front point and I'm going to chalk it out. Now I'm going to measure what I have on this neck width, and I have 4¼ inches. So I'm going to bring that 4¼ inches here. I'm going to mark it out. I want to connect a straight line, so that's what I'm basically doing. So I'll turn this over and then I'll also mark out the same 4¼ inches. So I'm going to connect it to meet the neckline, as you can see me doing. Then I'll also go ahead and mark the same on the back piece. So the next thing I'm going to do, I'll be cutting my frills piece, and then this is what I have 2 pieces of this, and then the length of this piece is 47.5 inches. I have 2 pieces of this, like I said earlier. So I'll go ahead and fold it into 2, and then I'll place it on each other. So we want to curve the hem. Meanwhile, the width of those frills is 5 inches. So I'll come to this open end and then I'm going to be marking out 2 inches. We'll mark out 2 inches and then we'll connect it in a slanted form back to that center, back to the folded part. You understand? Okay, so I'll go ahead and cut it out. I went ahead to notch so that I can mark my center point. So the next thing we're going to do is to open it up this way. So let me take out one fabric and show you what we'll be doing next. Now on this curve edge, we're going to be folding it, or you weave it. While this other side, I'll run a gather stitch, and then I'll do so for the 2 pieces. And this is what we have already folded, and then I ran my gather stitch for the 2 pieces. So I'm going to bring my main bodies and then I'm going to place this our frills piece on it, like you can see me doing, and then on the shoulder I'll place it very close to the neckline, you can see. So I'll place the both and then go ahead and sew. So this is what we have after sewing. So let me turn it over so that you can see. So basically you can go ahead and top stitch so that these frills can stay in place. I actually didn't do so, but after sewing I had to finally top stitch, so you can top stitch if you want. So the next thing I'll do is I'm going to be cutting my band piece. So I'm going to get a piece of fabric and then I'll measure the waistline. I'll make sure it is same, then I will cut out. So then for the back, I'm going to do the same thing, but while cutting the back band, I'll add like ½ inches. So you see me using it, just watch carefully. So here I'm just trying to get my band piece together. You know, we have 1 piece for the front and then 2 pieces for the back. So these our band piece measures 4 inches. So I'll go ahead and place my fabric and then I'll place my band piece on it and then I will sew. I'll do same thing for both the front and the back. And then this is the front piece. I already sewed it, and then this is what we have. You can see this is what we have. So I went ahead to fold over ½ inches, then I'm going to fold it again into 2 and then finish up that waistline. Now for the back bodies, now you can see I already fixed my band, so this is that half inches we left. So I'm going to fold it into two so that we'll have a neat finishing on that side. So we'll fold it into two like this, and then we go ahead and sew. And then this is what we have after sewing. So I'll just notch it and then turn it over. Then we go ahead and fold up this end and sew. So this is what we have. I already finished up my waistline, and you can see how it's looking so beautiful. So the next thing we're going to do is to fold over like this, and then we join our sides and we sew. After sewing, we'll go ahead and fix in our buttons and create our buttonholes, and then this is what we have. This our top came out looking so beautiful. So if you know you enjoyed this tutorial up to this point, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, okay? Subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much for watching. See you next time.